I want to move on to two more subjects that are fascinating, and I want to cover them if we can. One is Guardiola and Manchester City. This new player, Jesus, looks the business, Didi. He's the best Brazilian I've seen for a very long time.
Yes, he looks the part. He came on against Spurs, got a goal that was given offside, unfortunately. Otherwise, he would have got the winner there. He scored at West Ham, and he decided the game at the weekend. So he looks the deal. I like what he says. He said in an interview, he said, "I'm cold." He said, "I'm not emotionally attached to the game. This is why I make good decisions and stay calm in the most under pressure situations." And to say this for a young lad, who just comes to a foreign country and to a new game and to a new league, I think is mightily impressive, and to hit the ground running, because we know we've seen players, the best players, come here, and it took them time to adapt, 6, 8, 10 months, and some never adapted, and they disappeared after 12 months. So to have the impact, especially as a centre forward, which is the hardest thing in football, as we know, to score goals, to have such an impact in a short space of time, it's been hugely impressive, and I think it's great for a Premier League, because I think the Premier League lacks a genuine superstar. We had the likes of Desai, Henry, Vieira, Overmars, Pires over the years, Bergkamp.
Paul Scholes, Roy Keane.
Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, but we're going back, 5-10 years now. So I don't think in recent years, I don't think we had too many, maybe apart from Suarez. So no, it's great to have him, and we've got to be careful with young players. A lot can happen, and there's a lot of distraction over the next few weeks and months and years. But what I've seen so far, I think he could be the real deal.
John, I must say, I agree with Didi. I think this guy, apart from the goals, his all-round game, his physique, his all-round game, his alertness, he looks really...
very good, Eamon.
Yeah.
And Sané was good.
Yeah.
I think the match against West Ham, I know West Ham not the best teams in the world, but the performance overall from the team is one. But I think the most important to me, I think there has been a change of policy with Guardiola.
Yep. Yeah,
that's the biggest change. I mean,
if
you look at him, he's put the new goalkeeper in. I haven't seen him play those stupid fullback out to the fullback in that. No, there's a change. There's a change in. I did see in the paper where he said, "No, I take responsibility for it," and he admitted. I think he admitted in the thing, I made mistakes in doing that. I think he's changed them, and changed them drastically. I think that's the biggest thing for Manchester City. Because the last few matches we've seen him, I know they had a terrible time at Everton. Spurs, they played really well. They played him off the pitch against an informed team. All of us, I think, me very much included, expected Spurs to beat them.
Yep.
They killed them on the day. West Ham was terrific performing, and Saturday first half was very, very good. So there's a change of emphasis with these two players coming into it, but I think mostly Guardiola's attitude now to the goalkeeper playing out and all the things that we disagreed with, I think he stopped them now.
But the big thing he's done, Didi, it looks like Aguero could be on the way out, because he's left him on the bench for the last 2 games. And in the games he played before that, his body language didn't look great either.
No, and I think he looked like this for a while now. I think he looked pretty disheartened with maybe the players he plays with, or the way things are going. And I agree with you. I think the body language hasn't been right for probably about 12 months now. Now he's got somebody. Now it's the first time in his Man City career that he's got to prove his worth, and he's got to fight for his place. Which I think 2-3 years ago you would have said, well, who can they bring in to challenge him? They found a young kid there now from Brazil who can do that. So hopefully we see a reaction. Remains to be seen whether we see them both at the same time from the start, because a lot of the times Guardiola played with no centre forward. I don't think I've ever seen him play with 2. Then again, he might move Jesus out on the left or the right, so that remains to be seen. But it can only be good for Manchester City. I think they will finish the season really well. I agree with John. The keeper made a great save of Sigurdsson's free kick at the weekend to keep him in the game. So things are looking up for Manchester City, and it can only be good, because you need competition to get the best out of players. And hopefully we see Aguero in the Premier League for a few more years, because he is a fantastic talent, and he carried that Man City attack for the last 5 or 6 years. But it's a different situation for him, because it's the first time He's got to fight for his place, and I think in the next few weeks we find out whether he's up to the challenge, or whether he says, well, there's a big offer from China. I may move and leave the field for the young kid on the block. But he's been a great player for them, and I hope we see him for a few more years.
Yeah, Jesus just cost 25 million, which in today's market is really quite value for money. Is it too late, do you think, for me to go back on the Guardiola bandwagon, Didi, or have I stuck my neck out too far? The problem with this is, I'm delighted that I saw the game against West Ham. They were dazzling, but that's West Ham. They only scraped over the line a little bit against Swansea. But if he does get a defence, and we have to be fair to him and say he inherited Kolarov, he inherited Sanya, he inherited Clichy. You can't buy a whole, but he's going to have to spend in the window, isn't he?
No, I don't think so. In
the next window, in the summer window.
Yeah, well, they probably have to bring 2 or 3 in, because you always want to freshen things up, and they've got the funds to do so. So if there's somebody out there, I think they've got to go for it, because they need younger players. I think the team has become too old.
Would you agree with John, Didi, that that he has adapted to the Premier League? He has.
Well, we said it here time and time again. The keeper was the biggest issue for me, and that was my point. Now, you can't play out from the back all the time. I watched him against West Ham. I watched him against Spurs. Against Spurs, it was one of the best performances I've seen in a long time. They should have had a penalty, and it was a travesty they didn't win that game. But these things happen. When things don't go your way, these things happen. But they were fantastic over the 90 minutes. They mixed it up. They played when they could play, and they weren't afraid of playing a long ball. And changing the keeper, I think, was the biggest decision, because sometimes when things are not going well, the keeper is probably one of the most important, if not the most important, player in a team. If you haven't got a good goalkeeper, you won't win trophies. And a keeper gives defences and teams, or can give it, a lot of confidence. At the same time, it can give you the shakes as well.
Yeah.
And I think the other guy, he didn't give anybody any confidence. And now with Caballero in, we see a more settled team. We see a more confident team. They don't make as many mistakes, probably down to the fact as well that they don't play out from the back so much. And I think that was the biggest decision, a decision he had to make at some stage, and good on him for making it. And I think City, if there's a flaw, if there's a hiccup in Chelsea, I think City won't be far off, because I think they will have an awesome end to the season. Because of the way they've been playing in recent weeks, I think they'll be a real force from here till the end of the season now.
Okay, John. Let's